Hello everybody, welcome to Keeper's Corner. As usual, got Super Dave Watson next to me. This week though, Watto, we've got 3 mistakes and 3 saves. We're going to break them up nicely for you, finishing with that world-class, unbelievable David Raya save. First mistake we're going to go to, though, Etihad Stadium. Ipswich are 1-0 up. They are in absolute dreamland. When unfortunately they tried to play it around at the back. Muric gets caught. Watto, this is horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately for him, it's his Ipswich Town debut. Missed the opening game of the season at home to Liverpool last week. Look, Kieran McKenna, Ipswich manager, he wants his team to play. You've got to give real credit here to Man City. The press is phenomenal.
It's as good as you'll see in the Premier League,
it's as good as you'll see. But when Muric takes his first touch here now and you stop it, perfect. Pressing line, no reverse pass to the centre-half. Haaland's got the outside centre-half. De Bruyne's blocking the pass into the 6. So as soon as he had his first touch, he's got to sense that. He cannot take the second touch. He's got to go long or he's got to dump it to the right side centre-half and said to him, mate, you've got to clear this.
Do you know what, right?
Now,
you speak about Man City's press here, right? Savinho, he's a new player to Man City, right? He's not really probably up to speed fully on how Man City play.
No.
It looks to me like he's got an inbuilt press already in him. He knows exactly what to do. Everybody else knows exactly what to do. As soon as he takes that second touch, Muric, every Man City's player's eyes just light up, don't they?
Yeah, it's finished. From that point now, his pressing line is phenomenal. And for all young, old goalies watching this is what comes the higher levels you play at. And yes, your coaches, your managers all want us to play football, for sure. But you've got to see pictures very, very quickly.
There's a time and a place for it. When you're away at the Etihad Stadium, knowing how Man City press, you're 1-0 up, do not mess around with it. Even here, the first touch, you don't even necessarily need to take the first touch. Set yourself up to kick long because you know that they want to press. They are waiting for you to make a mistake, and that's exactly what happens, isn't it?
You've played straight into their hands.
Yeah.
And as I said, I think you could ultimately maybe ask your teammates for a little bit more, but you've got to be so thorough on that first touch, know that the pressure's there, you can't take the second touch, and you have to go touch and fire long because the pressure's on. Or the only other option is to dump it behind yourself for the outside centre-half and ask him to do it.
Behind the outside of that centre-half, because you can't play it into his feet because he's got a player right on him. So what you're going to have to do is put it just behind him so that he can turn, run onto it, and even if he kicks it out of play over there or tries to kick it up the line, it's basically the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, you've got no other option. Yeah. And I actually think even after your first touch, you're going to be under some severe pressure to play that ball long. But you've got to know you've got a safe dumping ground, and it's outside your 18-yard box, and your outside centre-half's going to react to you. But what I would say is it's obviously a glaring mistake, but the press he's received there is phenomenal. City have blocked every passing lane off for him, and I think that's then the brain and the thought process to respond quick enough, knowing, have I got a safe pass? And that touch killed him. The second touch killed him, and it's game over. But the one thing with playing out from the back is you've got to be able to see these pictures quickly. Yes, you've got to be able to execute your pass and the range of passing, but you've got to see the pictures quicker than that. And he didn't see the picture quick enough in terms of the whole thing closing in on him. And Man City made him pay the ultimate price.
Yeah, OK, well then let's look at later in the game then. Same game, same goalkeeper. We're talking about a world-class save here.
And for me, this is what we love about goalkeeping, because 1 minute, obviously, glaring mistake, put your team on the back foot. But this save is phenomenal. And I think for me, obviously, here, it's agility, it's athleticism, but I think it's the start position from the actual cross. There's not too much movement, so it gives him a chance to be in the middle of the goal. His hands have not sunk below his knees. They're in a relatively high position in his normal position for shot stopping or handling. They're by his hips, so he's not lost time, but he's in the middle of the goal. He's not travelled too far from the cross, so he can be comfortable. Cross comes in, he's in a set position, not lost his hands behind his body, not lost his hands low, he's kept them high, And Haaland already at that point thinks he's got his hat-trick.
I think Muric has read this situation perfectly. His starting position, absolutely fantastic. Like you say, he's in the middle of the goal. He's set. He's on his toes as well. Yeah. He's springing. Yeah. And what he's also done is he's read Erling Haaland's body position. Yeah. He knows exactly where Erling Haaland... He knows where he wants to put it. He wants to put it back across him over there. So he's almost ready for that. He's half edging over that way. And he knows that if he puts it in this little area here, he's backing himself to make a save, but to execute it as well, because you're bearing in mind that's 6 yards. That's less than a second's reaction
and you
time.
Can see there, it's nearly through him. As he gets to his fingers on his left hand, it's nearly through him. And that's why you can't lose your hands, and that's why you've got to keep them high, because your reaction time's nothing. But this week, the 3 saves that we're actually going to go through, it'll be tough in the Premier League season to see a week with 3 better.
I totally agree. We're doing it a bit differently this week. We're going to go mistake, save, mistake, save, mistake, save. And like I say, finish with that weldy.
But fair play to Muric coming through the mistake and making a save.
And bouncing back. Right then, let's go to Molineux. This is Wolves' opening goal. Cunha... I don't like the way that Sanchez has tried to read it, and at the end of the day, he's just dived out of the way, hasn't he?
Yeah, what we've just spoke about Muric making an unbelievable save, he's actually in the middle of the goal. He's in a good position.
Yeah.
And it's not that the chance is so close to him. He would still have 6 or 7 yards to react. Yeah. But he's made a decision so early. But if you look here, if you're really brutal on the clip, if Sanchez dives to his left here and just falls to the floor... He's already covered the goal. He's got nothing to aim at his left side. Yeah. You've got to keep your balance. He's not had much movement. Control your movement. Set. Be in a balanced set position. And actually, rely on a forward not being as clinical as what he'd like. Yeah. He's actually made your job easy.
It's not a fantastic finish.
Stand up.
He's just helped the ball into the middle of the goal. What I was always told as a goalie is make sure he beats you. Make sure he beats you. Don't beat yourself. Yeah. And by diving early like that, you are beating yourself. If you stand there and back yourself and say, I'm going to be able to react to this, I'm going to stay over my toes, I'm going to keep my hands active, agile, ready to react to whatever comes, he makes that save very comfortably,
Everything's perfect. He has a step and a half. He's set. He's in a perfect position. Just stand up. I don't think he's got anything to aim at your left. That's the last position I'd be diving. And if you look at the defender, this is where I think experience is key. The defender's trying to block that side of the goal for you. Yeah. Your bit is middle and down to your right.
Do you know what would have really highlighted this as a mistake is if Cunha would have just rolled it. I mean, daisy rolled it into this left corner. If it had rolled this into this bottom left corner down here, and Sanchez would have done that, it would have looked so bad. It would have looked like a really bad mistake.
It's a perfect still Jamie's got there for you. Honestly, you put that ball there 99 times out of 100 in training. Yeah. He's got nothing to aim at to his left. So you've worked a step and a half. You've got to a reasonable position. Exactly what you said. Don't beat yourself. Stand up. And honestly, you wouldn't believe it. You're probably going to parry it because it's that poor a finish.
It might be one of them.
It's just going to hit you in the chest. But you can't guess and go early on a finish like that. And ultimately, it's allowed Wolves back in the game. It were fortunate that they had a very good day offensively and scored 6 goals. But as a Premier League goalie, you can't allow somebody to beat you in the middle of the goal like that. Do your steps, get your contacts in, stand big, react to the second.
Back yourself, simple as that. Right, let's talk about another worldie save then. It was Aston Villa, big Emi Martinez. We love big Emi Martinez, we really do. There were probably questions raised about one of the goals that he might have done a little bit better with, but we're focusing on this save here. How good is this? Watto? Right at the end of his range, he's read it, it's gone through bodies, tipped it round the post. Beautiful.
I think this is like a polar opposite to what we've just talked about with Sanchez. Look at the 2 Villa defenders trying to get a block and stop it.
Giving it everything they can to try and get it.
Everything they can. But Martinez knows he's left-footed. He's bending it across him. And he cannot stand behind them 2 defenders and wait for it to come past Torres' right knee. He's got to go early. Yeah. Look at that. Full stretch.
A lot of goalies don't make that save just purely because of the size of Emi Martinez. You're talking about a 6'5", 6'6" goalkeeper.
And it's range, isn't it?
That's agile. He's got strength at range as well. He's read it. He knows exactly what's going on in front of him. And not only has he read it, he's got to wait for the ball to go past all of them players.
Absolutely.
He has to wait for it to go past Hazard. He has to wait for it to go past Konsa. He has to wait for that final bit before he can really go and extend.
But I think that clip there is the perfect example, because as you see him move inside, just a little bit, you see him have two little micro contacts that just takes him away from the defender's viewpoint, just so he can see. If it had stayed fixed, he's done. If it had stayed fixed, he has two little contacts to his right, which just gives him enough to see it and gives him the momentum then, and then he uses all his experience and range at 6'4". Right, I know where that's going, left foot, and it's the diving line and the attack. Great picture, just outside his post. Look at the angle of the line. So
many little details. This is the beauty of goalkeeping.
Because if he would have not took the micro steps...
Oh, no, he's not saving it.
And if he would have gone anywhere other than there, on that line, anything there, he's opened the goal up and it's in.
This is it. Exactly that.
Unbelievable.
Those tiny little steps, those tiny little details that people probably don't recognise. And why would you as well? Why would you? Unless you're a real sort of specialist in goalkeeping, why would you?
Little
but that two tiny little contacts, that little peek around the corner. He knows that Saka's going to try and put it in that far corner. He's read it. He has to wait. He waits as long as he possibly can and then executes the save.
And it's the turnout on his right foot and then the right hand, the angle of it to attack the ball, to attack it there. It's an unbelievable save, honestly.
Proper goalie. Right, final mistake of the match weekend. We're talking about Jordan Pickford's mistake. Another one where the ball gets played back to him. Just kind of dithered too long, really, didn't he? I don't think he appreciates quite how fast Son is, and he shuts him down so quickly, doesn't he?
It's the modern game. It's exactly like we said about Muric. It's a throw-in, gone back to Tarkowski. Tarkowski's got an easy pass to Pickford, but what you got to realise here, Son's on full gas. Pickford takes a touch on the outside of his left foot, and he's standing still basically on that touch, and Son's at full gas. He's opened everything up for him. I actually think the touch is too big.
Yeah, it is too big.
The touch is too big.
Too far across,
and it just gives Son that massive chance. Pickford knows where he wanted to play. He wanted to play a little soft pass to his outside centre-half because he knows Son's line of attack. He sees where the pressure's coming. But to be honest with you, outside foot touch is too big. Son's on full gas.
Second Pickford takes that touch, Sonny's eyes are lighting up.
They've lit up,
If that ball is played back to an Alisson or an Edison, somebody who's really technically very good with the ball at the feet, I think they just put their foot on the ball there. I don't think they open their body up and try and bring it across goal. I think they put their foot on it. That defender there, Tarkowski, I think he pulls right out and I think he just lays it back for him.
The reality is there, exactly what you said. The top goalie, foot on it.
Yeah.
I think he plays into, I think it's Keane, and he'd bounce into the midfield, and Tarkowski would be out the other side. Watch here. So normally, foot on, into Keane, turn into midfield, or Keane plays straight to Tarkowski on the other side. But because he takes the outside foot touch and Son's on full gas, it's finished.
He's so quick.
It's so quick.
The levels we're talking of speed here is just phenomenal. I think even then Jordan Pickford thinks I'm still going to be able to clear it. I still think I'm going to be able to clear it.
So quick. His only pass is a safe one into Keane, and Keane's got to bounce out into midfield or straight into Tarkowski. But the touch, ultimately, the touch were always too big. It's a little touch or foot on the ball to play your little pass.
Simple as that. Right, we've got to finish with a worldie, Watto. I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to say this is one of the best saves I've seen in years, genuinely in years. And we're going to break it down exactly why. First and foremost, the original header, the original deflection. The movement that Raya did, the change of body position to try and get up, to be agile enough to spring off and get to try and make the original save. He doesn't make the original save, but it hits the crossbar. But this part here, and this is such a good angle as well, the camera angle from inside the goal is phenomenal. From David Raya hitting the floor and getting back up is, I don't think there's many goalkeepers in world football could get up that quick.
No. I think Watkins' eyes have lit up, and this is why we love goalkeeping, because he's hurt him so bad. But I'm with you. The start of the action, it's a deflection at the start of the action. He has to adjust his feet and he tries to get his right hand up, and he's shown all his agility because actually the ball couldn't go past his right hand and in the goal. But as soon as he sees that ball hit the crossbar, look at his left hand, look at his eyes, look at his body's position, and look at the push and the agility from the top half. he's not switched off as soon as the ball's
He's got
passed him.
Bailey on his toes. He's got Bailey on his toes, and he knows he can't push it out to Bailey. He can't just get a hand on it. He has to push it away as well. Look, he has to push it over there because Bailey just taps it in otherwise. It's that speed, though. That's what I'm talking about. We spoke about that in Football Fill-In earlier, actually, is Villa Park is known for being it's a really hard pitch, isn't it? Really hard pitch. You come off it and you know about it. Your ankles, your groins, it's always been a hard pitch. And if this is a soft pitch or it's a wet pitch or a soft, sloppy pitch, you aren't getting up in time, are you? Because you're sliding, you're still moving. But the fact that it's a little bit dry, it's a really hard pitch, means that the second he hits the ground, he can almost spring back up. And that's exactly what happened. You don't really make these saves in training, do you?
No.
You don't even make these saves in training. That's how rare a save like this is.
It's very hard to recreate that. As a goalie coach, you'll
brilliant.
practice the deflections there and you'll be wanting to make saves. Like you saw the change of his body movement, the change of his footwork pattern to even get to his right hand close to knocking it onto the crossbar for this first one. Look at the change of direction.
Great, isn't it?
Look at the body movement. But there, to spring, push, and it's the mentality, no, I'm not beat. If he's going to score a goal here, it's going to be tough for him. So it's feet, agility, strength, reaction. Honestly.
It's phenomenal. We spoke about Emi Martinez in the last clip, saying that there's not many other goalies in world football that make saves because of his size, because he's 6'6". The reason why Raya can make this is because he's 6 foot. He's 80 kilograms. He is so nimble and agile and quick and reactive that the second he hits the floor, a bigger goalie can't get up that quick. I wouldn't have been able to get up that quick. Emi Martinez can't get up that quick. David Raya can, though. This is why I think this is probably going to be save of the season already, and we're in game week 2.
We've done 2 of these shows this season, and Raya's got
a couple of them already.
A couple already. I mean, but we've had 3 phenomenal saves on this show, but this had everything that you could ever...
It's going to take some beating,
this could take anything you've ever got. And I just think for any young goalie watching, it just shows the mentality we have. We never give up. We never, ever give up. And this is where you earn your rewards. And that there, and then Watkins' face as he sees him save it, is worth its weight in gold. And as you said, look, there's 2 Villa players in there. Watkins gets a header, and then there's a tap-in. But he's not happy just with saving it. He gets the ball
right
into
out
a
there.
Phenomenal area. And, ultimately that wins them the game.
Watto, absolutely world class.
Loved it this week.
We love a bit of Keeper's Corner, don't we? I think we like this format because we're given a lot more love for some of the big saves.
Yeah.
It was an easy weekend to do because we had quite a few mistakes, but we had some unbelievable saves as well. So world class, mate.
Yeah.
We'll see you all next week.